maybe the last AEW promo you cut was about the pipe bomb.
The exit interview.
The exit interview. Which I loved because it was like, oh, like there was something. This doesn't correlate to any story.
No.
This is.
I'm going to mention Sami Zayn. Not Sami Zayn. I'm going to mention Sammy Guevara at the end, and I'll climb the ladder. That's kind of
So did you know, because this is a promo where you talk about the pipe bomb, but talk about how you actually did it, right? Didn't just talk about it.
Yeah.
Was this just one that you had in the chamber, and you went, I'm out of here. I don't think I'm going to get to do this promo, but I love this promo.
I think it's easy for me now to say, like, oh, I definitely knew. But it wasn't the case. I definitely I didn't know. The last thing I did at AEW, no one really knows. The last thing I did was coach a match, and I wasn't the best coach. I more let you do what you wanted to, and then we'd talk about it after, with Ruby and Nyla Rose. That was the last thing. I remember walking out the door, and not that they did fine. It wasn't anything to do with them.
That's it.
But I remember thinking, yeah, I think I'm leaving. But that interview, and I remember I had mentioned it to Punk as well. Hey, I'm going to say this because I'm not a fan of blindsiding anybody ever. And where we're terrible at it is social media.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, my opponent just nuked me. Then you nuke him back. Good. All right. So no trust, and we've gone to the peak level of, fervor. I look at it now and I call it the exit interview. And I think maybe selfishly, egotistically, I wanted to remind them, hey, I appreciate the company's changed. I do. Please know, though, there is no company had these things not have happened. Now, other stuff had to happen. Jericho had to do his stuff. Bucks had to do their stuff. Kenny had to do their stuff. Mox had to do his stuff. He's a big part of it, too. I don't give him credit enough. But I just wanted them to know. But then the other part of it was sincerely the thing I was talking about earlier. This is being a heel, saying you're not going to be a heel. It just was too meta, and I had fun with it. I did. And even when the belt came back in the Target Center, it was perfect because Dax and those guys knew what to do. We did a whole, we leaned into it. I'd always tell QT or Tony or who's ever there, I'm like, I'm leaning in. I don't know if anyone knew what that meant, though. I think that's the story of everything at the end. It was, I don't know if there's a plan for this.
Right.
This is chaos. And chaos, one thing we did big numbers. We did great. Like even one of the last Saturday specials, we did a killer number. We were just doing great business. But chaos, you got to get the reins on it at some point. Where's this going? Arn, that's another thing. He just was for the ride. He didn't care. He was fine, but he was with me till the end on it. So, but the exit interview, I think selfishly wanted fans to know, I love you guys so much, and I did all this. And if you have forgotten about it, I don't think that's cool. But it's the nature of it. Me, Matt, and Nick talk about that all the time. It's like people don't remember. And I'm of the thought when I'm 80 years old, and maybe it would be like, no, he did do all this. He did all that. It's so odd because I was so mad at different journalists and stuff for how they discredited my dad, took ideas away from him, took things away from him, and then later he passed away, and oh yeah, he did all this and that. As mad as I was, I felt like in that moment I was like, oh, happening all over again, happening to me. It's too many egos in wrestling, including my own. You can't take credit for one. I can't take credit for the revolution. I can't. There were other people. Was I a big part of it? Sure.